Shut up and sit down.
What's up, guys? Episode 15. This week, we're missing somebody, Kyle. I don't know if you noticed that.
I hadn't.
You hadn't?
I typically look right over him anyway.
It was, to date, the longest streak in sports entertainment today.
Yeah?
Josh Too Good Crocker has appeared on every episode of the Realest Guide podcast since its inception.
He has.
And unfortunately, guys, it is with some sadness that we announce he is not here today. So we will pour a little out for the streak that's gone. But fear not, it's me, the Reeking Wolverine, here with the Sly Guy. And we're gonna try as best we can to replicate and bring to the table everything that Josh does. So let's not waste any time, man. First of all, what's up? How was your week?
You know, it's a good week. We had pay-per-view, Raw,
we had a Raw,
Smackdown.
Had a Smackdown. We got some news too. We actually the week that Josh decides to take off is the week that I feel like we've got a bunch of stuff in the news.
We do have a bunch of stuff we can talk about.
So and we'll get to that right away. But you mentioned it right off the bat. We had a pay-per-view this week.
We did.
Not No Mercy. What was it called? Clash of Champions.
No Mercy.
I'm sorry,
guys. I think it was WrestleMania.
You know what it is? I'm still kind of stuck with all the flubs that we had last week, so it's still kind of carrying over. But anyway, Clash of Champions. That was Raw's first branded pay-per-view since the split.
Yeah, and that's the first brand pay-per-view. I mean, it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a solid card, top to bottom.
It was like I was watching a weekly episode of Smackdown, but it was good for Raw.
I mean, let's not be sarcastic here. It's not like Smackdown has title matches on the. Wait, they did. Never mind.
But it was a good Raw or a good pay-per-view,
and that's the problem. It was just a good Raw. It's Raw's just Anywho, so let's get right into it. We made our picks last week. We're not going to cover it too much. We'll just go over what we discussed last week. The champ is here on this side of the table, and it feels so good. You know?
So within 3 pay-per-views, three pay-per-views that we covered, we've had 3 different champs.
Listen, parity is a beast, you know, and all that goes to show is that we each really differ and fundamentally, and I think WWE finally got it right though this past week. Let's just leave it at that. WWE finally got it right this week.
How many points? If we're going to call each match a point, how many points did you win by?
I think I won by 2.
1.
Was it only 1?
Jericho's the only thing. Jericho put you over on me.
No, and then and the women's triple threat match put me over you too.
But I got over on you because of New Day.
Yeah, listen.
So you only technically won by 1 point.
All right, fair. That's fine.
So you got one match over on me.
Listen. What did Vin Diesel say in Fast and Furious? It doesn't matter if you win by a foot or a mile, an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
A win is a win.
Exactly.
And you got to win.
So, but yeah. So I mean, you know, Clash of Champions, as much of a big deal as it was supposed to be, kind of was status quo. It was more of clash of everyone's going to retain their championship belt with one exception.
Yeah. Also, now that we're doing brand split pay-per-views, one, before we were doing the brand split, basically every champion was defending their title on every pay-per-view anyway.
Yes.
But now that we're doing the brand split, it's certain that every champion is defending the championship on every. So Clash of Champions kind of loses its everybody's now it's everybody's defending every 2 weeks.
In the first couple of weeks, SmackDown only had but the WWE title.
Yeah.
And the IC title. They didn't have their own tag team division and their own tag team titles. They didn't have they had their own women's division, but they didn't have their own women's division title. But to your credit, every pay-per-view now is going to be one that every title is going to be defended. Now, as far as if those defenses or whatever, if those matches are worthy of anything, it's a different argument. But like I said, everybody retained with one exception.
Yep.
Rusev finally lost to Roman Reigns, which I'm kind of okay with.
I'm definitely okay with it.
I hope Rusev builds on this, and I think it's fun, and we'll touch on it here in a second. But Roman starting to come around a little bit on the crowd. It looked like, you know? So
definitely. Other than that, there were just a couple. T.J. Perkins, Brian Kendrick was a fun match.
That was a fun match.
And then Sheamus Cesaro.
I actually, that match pissed me off.
I kind of liked it, and I liked it because I kind of had an idea that they were going to go where they ended up going on Raw after that match. But I liked it that they took each other to the limit, had the double count out.
Yeah, I mean the double count out. It was a hard hitting match, which is what. You know, again, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
But I think the no count out, or the no contest, the double count out was just a crap finish, and you know what I mean. It soured the match for me.
Yeah, and I can see that. But as soon as it happened, I looked over at my dad and said, like, because of what was on the line, I thought that was where they go, and we'll talk about it when we get to Raw. But where they're going with it, the story arc, was what I thought was going to happen as soon as I saw the double count out. So
that's fair.
With that in mind, like, I got kind of excited for what could be, because that could be really fun to watch.
That's fair. And then the only other non-title match on the card was Jericho beating Sami Zayn.
The match that won the title, even though it was a non-title match.
I see what you did there. Which is, it's fun, and we'll discuss this. Not really discuss it, but we'll bring it up a little bit later. But Jericho might be sticking around a little bit longer. It seems like, and maybe this victory can build to a feud with some frenemies. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Frenemies.
So I mean, again, that's pretty much what happened at Clash. Everybody retained. Rusev lost his title. And it was pretty much a standard issue episode of Raw, which brings us to Monday night, the longest weekly running episodic television show in network history or something like that. I don't know.
At least in the last 24 years.
Seriously. And we will open up with the brand new U.S. champion. Roman Reigns comes out, and I touched on it a little bit earlier. He got some positive crowd response.
He did. One, I think everybody's kind of. He was getting a lot of the negative crowd response because he was doing that goofy talking. And it's not goofy talking, it's just him talking is goofy.
Yeah.
But now he has kind of gotten more serious again. He's
got a swagger to him. He's got that swagger back.
Yeah. So he's doing less on the mic and more in the ring. And I think people enjoy that from Roman. Which
is funny because a lot of, like, I guess the more hardcore fans, those people who I count myself, the smarky crowd, kind of didn't like his in-ring work and wanted him to just be this silent badass type character, and that didn't work. But now it's looking like it's working now.
Yeah, and did you see him, like, his actual wrestling?
It's improved.
They slowed down the pace with Rusev in this match. They didn't go immediate hard hitting with each other. And they did some actual wrestling, and he looked good.
And the storytelling was there too. I mean, the commentators came out and said that they were talking about how, whoa, this is, you know, maybe Rusev trying to take Roman off of his game by slowing things down. And Roman held his own. It was a very good match. I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah,
really enjoyed the match. Unfortunately, like Sheamus and Cesaro the night before, it ends in a no contest, a double count out.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I get it. His first title defense. It makes sense to end it that way. You don't completely cripple Rusev's ability for a rematch.
You also, I don't know if they're going to go Rusev rematch with the story arcs that they've been doing with Rusev facing Seth Rollins. Like, I think they're going to eventually try to push Rusev to something bigger.
I hope so.
So you don't cripple his ability to go compete in the main card by, you know, having him lose to the quote unquote undercard champion.
It makes sense. But you still have him get beat down after the match, which again is good storytelling. Now, the one thing that I do want to note about this, there were some rumors circulating backstage after the show that Roman got a little bit of heat from the higher ups, that being Triple H and Vince, about his decision to sit on the chair before he hit Rusev in the back with it. You know, the plan was for him to go out there and just attack Rusev with the chair. And I guess Vince and Triple H did not like the fact that he kind of ad-libbed there. Which, honestly, the way I see it, if he's kind of gonna trigger his own heel turn this way, if he's just gonna say, screw it, I'm just gonna continue to be an annoying individual, I'm okay with it. It'll be interesting to see if that leads to anything or if it's just talk in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't see much into it. Whether maybe they're upset, but I don't think they really have much reason to be upset. If anything whatsoever, this helps them in the idea of like, oh, maybe it does actually hurt when you're hitting him with the steel chair because it was bold enough to hold his weight and then he hit him. So like if anything, it helps the WWE.
Fair.
But at the same time, like that's far gone, and we. I just don't see anything coming of it.
Speaking of far gone, I feel like this storyline has gone too far gone. We have Mick Foley.
I like where it's going, though.
See, I know, and we're going to differ on this because Sheamus and Cesaro, so they end the pay-per-view and they no contest, and the series is still tied 3-3 with an asterisk now with one undecided vote, I guess. Right? Mick Foley comes out, and in typical Mick Foley talking too much fashion. By the way, I'm getting real tired of Foley already. I'm already sick and tired of Foley. But so Foley comes out and he says, "Well, both of you guys are going to get a title shot together." And I'm thinking, "Oh, dope! We're going to have a triple threat match. That's awesome. I would love to see that match. Give me that match." You got three guys in KO, current champion, Sheamus, and Cesaro. Sheamus I'm not too high on, but the three guys can work a really stiff style. That'd be an interesting match to watch.
Yeah, it would, but that's not what's happening.
But then Mick Foley suddenly turned into Teddy Long and decided to give him a tag team championship opportunity.
Wow. I like the idea of, kind of gives me the feel of maybe a Brothers of Destruction. We're not really a team that likes each other. Mm-hmm. We're just going to show off in front of each other because we don't like each other. Kind of gives me the feel of Rock and Sock Connection of we're random people that got thrown together. We're not a tag team, but we kind of are. So like it gives me a throwback to some of those older teams that I loved.
I mean, you don't even have to throw back that far. Team Hell No.
Team Hell No was, yeah.
Like
I said, it did give me a throwback to some of the teams that I loved.
Oh, you weren't a fan of Team Hell No?
I was a fan of each of them individually.
Fair.
Together, I wasn't a huge fan. Mm-hmm. They had some funny moments, but yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a cop-out. It's an easy way out. You had the winner of this is going to get a guaranteed title shot. Best 4 out of 7. It was supposed to crescendo to this ultimate moment, and I think it would have really pushed either. I mean, not that Sheamus needs a push, but maybe off a cliff. But it would have pushed either of them into that upper echelon again of superstars, and instead they copped out.
Well, here's the other thing. Cruiserweight Classic's now on Raw. Mm-hmm. So, with that taking up time, just real quick, list off your tag team division on Raw.
List it off. All right, you got The New Day. You've got Gallows and Anderson. You've got, obviously, now Sheamus and Cesaro. You've got
Enzo and Cass.
And that sounds about it.
So, you got 3 teams in the tag team division without Sheamus. So now that the cruiserweights are coming and taking some time away, some of these solo guys are going to have to get paired up.
But I mean, you still got solo guys who we haven't seen. I mean, where's Neville at?
Exactly.
Bo Dallas didn't make an appearance on this past show.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I just feel, and then you look at the top of the card. You've got Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, right?
Yeah.
And then below that, you've got what? Jericho, you've got Sami Zayn, you've got these guys kind of in the peripheries. There's 3 hours worth of content there. Even if you want to say that the cruiserweights coming in and they're taking over they're taking some time away from the show, there's still 3 hours of content. Smackdown in 2 hours can do a much better show with much better writing than Raw has been able to do so far. It pains me to say it, but it's true.
But here's the thing with the reason I love them getting thrown into the tag team division. I'm getting really tired of New Day versus Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, me too.
Really tired of it.
Me too.
And I think the only reason the New Day hasn't dropped to them yet is because the New Day fades out of existence and you have Gallows and Anderson versus Cass and Enzo for 6 months.
Well, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but we saw the New Day and the Club once again on Monday.
I do.
For a rematch for the title. I hate when they do. I hate when the WWE does this. When you have the match the night before on the pay-per-view and you just rehash it the very next night. Now, I understand why they did it. Because the New Day should have lost at the pay-per-view. They should have lost.
They should have.
They should have lost on Monday. They didn't. They retained the title again. And at this point, it's 415 something days?
It's been like 2009. That joke's just gonna keep coming back, guys.
I mean, seriously. And I know you're a New Day fan. I'm a New Day fan too. It's just there comes a time where enough's enough.
I want to see Enzo and Cass get there, and I think until New Day drops it to Gallows and Anderson, Enzo and Cass are kind of doing this. We're a tag team, but we're gonna fight a bunch of single competitors because there is no other tag team for them to fight.
Which is cool. I'm down for that.
So
I'm just kind of tired of the New Day. The New Day just needs to either drop the title or kind of evolve a little bit. The problem is it's difficult because they're such a crowd favorite, because they got such a reaction that it's going to be difficult. Getting a reaction, your girl,
Bayley.
Lee.
Oh yeah, Bayley. I guess she's just Bay to me.
She had a squash match, which is always funny because she's like 5'0" and 100 pounds soaking wet.
But did you? It is a squash match. She won pretty easily, but it wasn't Nia Jax.
Well, no, I mean,
was like Anna Fields came in, squash match. Obviously, Bayley's going to win.
Yeah,
but Anna Fields got rolling on some offense there in the early stages of the match, and then Bayley shut it down and ended. It wasn't Nia Jax walking into the ring. It wasn't Braun Strowman walking.
I mean, because you can't compare the two. You can't.
But
it's not believable for someone, Anna Fields to go up against Nia Jax and dominate, a quick portion of the match. It doesn't make any sense.
And that's why, it is a squash match, but at the same time, it shows more of Bayley because of that fact that she's not going to go in and immediately one shot knock out somebody.
If there's one issue that I've got coming out of this Raw is in the 2 weeks now, right? 2 weeks.
Yep.
In the 2 weeks now with the Cruiserweights on the show. 3 weeks now. Mm-hmm. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it with them. They're bringing it's WWE has done such a great job with introducing the concept of the Cruiserweights back into their company. Yeah. But in doing so, they've done it to the detriment of the rest of the product. It's becoming more and more abundantly clear, between the pay-per-view, between last week, between this past Monday, that the Cruiserweight division is going to be its own separate entity in its entirety. They're getting different ropes. They're getting different lighting. It's almost like it's going to be like an Inception type wrestling, in that it's wrestling inside of a wrestling show. And I don't like it. I miss the days where Rey Mysterio can go ahead and challenge for the World Heavyweight title. And I feel like they're gonna pigeonhole these guys into just fighting each other.
I think they will eventually get back to that, but I think starting off, this is a new division, so to bring some shine to that belt, so to speak, you're really giving into this division being a division. Okay, and then eventually, T.J. Perkins, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, maybe they do go up and challenge for higher belts. Okay. Maybe they do. But to start out, we're going to give everything we got to get this division up and off the,
But I'm going to use your point for a second that you alluded to last week. Where's Neville? Where's Sin Cara?
Sin Cara is too heavy.
Is he?
Yeah. He's like 225?
I thought
205. 205. He's not super too heavy, but
where's Kofi? Kofi's 200. Where's Xavier Woods?
Yeah,
why are you?
They're tag team division guys.
You guys are only using the guys that were in the Cruiserweight Classic, and basically all you did was bring these 8 gentlemen up to the main roster and still having them fight with each other. You need to start putting other superstars in there.
And how many people did they bring up?
4 or 5, I think. That's an 8. I think it's like
6, 7.
Probably. Yeah,
because we got to see 2 new ones this week.
Yep, we had a Cruiserweight tag team match, which was good. The match itself was good. Their action is great. I'm just not liking just kind of how.
And I think again, eventually, you will get those other guys that fit into it. But same thing with getting the belt some prestige by making the division, something solid that people can. You're getting these wrestlers some kind of name awareness, some recognition, because not all WWE fans are us who watched the Cruiserweight Classic. Not all WWE fans went out and watched any of the indies to see TJ Perkins when they heard he was coming, or Cedric Alexander. So these guys are wrestling for the WWE fans, for a lot of them, for the first time. And you put Cedric Alexander against Adrian Neville.
I was going to say Adrian. Who's Adrian?
Did I mess up on the name again?
No. No, his name was Adrian Neville.
I'm sorry. It's just Neville.
It's just
now.
Neville now.
Just Neville. You put Cedric Alexander last week against Neville. That's a squash match in most people's eyes.
Yeah, and then you have Cedric Alexander to pull out the victory, and all of a sudden it's a surprise, and now he's getting some type of reaction. Oh, wait, who's this dude? Let me.
So here's the issue with that.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander pulls out the victory on Neville. You just killed the next 3 months of Neville's career.
I mean,
he gets no push anymore.
What has he been doing for the past 8 months?
I get you, but I'm still saying, like, you don't want to kill somebody's career to help somebody get over to start their career, but you also don't want to kill somebody's career because they can't start ever. So you're giving these guys this isolated. We're only having you 6 wrestle right now for this, and I think probably one more week of the 6 of them, however many wrestling, and then we'll start to see.
So then let me ask you, what's the difference between having Neville fight Alexander and Alexander fighting Rich Swann? I mean, what's the difference? Neither guy is has investment from the crowd. So you're still arguing the same thing, because if Rich Swann loses to Cedric Alexander, the crowd doesn't know and is not invested in Rich Swann, so his career is done and over, right?
Not necessarily, because he's not losing immediately to. He's not just a jobber. When you come in and you're just a jobber immediately, losing to the known guys, you're a jobber. That's what they're going to peg you as. When you come in and lose to somebody else who's not known, y'all are having y'all's first match together, people tend to go, oh, this is just our first, but when you're how often do you see a jobber come in, lose to a well-known person, and then really, we got the Hardy Boys.
Heath Slater
didn't really start as a jobber.
Well, he quickly worked his way into Barry Horowitz territory.
He worked his way to a jobber, but he didn't start as a jobber. And I'm not so sure that he's not going to return to jobber status.
He might be going back to jobber. Who knows?
But yeah, so it's one of those things that you kind of really have to watch everything you do, especially when you're trying to start something from the ground up, especially inside of something that's already built.
Well, you're talking about already built. You're talking about ground up. That's where I thought the story was what Sheamus and Cesaro was leading to, and then instead we get a BS tag team match, which they won. Again, I'm just going to keep harping on this just because I don't like the direction of the story. I'll go into it with open eyes and see kind of where it goes, but I get the storytelling aspect behind it, where they didn't want to tag each other in and out. Makes sense,
but you did get the Brothers of Destruction-esque, like, I'm going to hard tag. You're gonna jump off the ring, so I'm gonna slap you in the chest as hard as I can next time I get a chance to tag you in, and then I'm gonna come in and save you. I'm gonna lay the bro kick just to kind of show you what's up, show you how good I am, and then I'm gonna do this to show, like, there is this element of I'm gonna one up.
Yeah,
and that may lead them to the title someday.
I'm still convinced Cesaro's gonna end up going to SmackDown here soon.
I could be too.
And then we cut back to Cruiserweight action. And again, we have the different ropes, the different lighting and everything, which, again, just it gives me the impression that Raw is like, we're Raw, but we're also going to be the Cruiserweight show. You know what I mean? And it's just, I just don't like it. I don't like the aesthetic and the visual behind, this separate but equal, and I know that's probably a dirty way to put it, but, aspect of the Cruiserweights right now. But TJ Perkins, your current Cruiserweight champion, picks up a win over Tony Nese. Very good Match. Again, the Cruiserweights themselves and their action in the ring, I'm loving it. I'm digging that. That is superb action. Phenomenal even. It's just, I don't like the outside part of it. Yeah. So, and we get a treat.
We do.
We get Chris Jericho's highlight reel.
$6,500
Jeritron 4000.
4000, yeah. It was beautiful.
I wasn't too big on Jericho when he came back. I wasn't really feeling it.
I mean,
I've grown to love him.
I'm never feeling Jericho. I've grown to moderately like him.
So you're telling me the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, when he debuted with the Y2J gimmick with The Rock, you weren't feeling that? So you can kindly leave my house.
Okay, the past
over.
4 years, 5 years, like I haven't been feeling. Of course, back in the day when he was the young,
the young lion,
yeah,
trying to tame people. See what it is there?
Ooh.
So I mean, this current Jericho iteration has really grown on me. I love the highlight reel. I love his budding friendship with Kevin Owens. It's just, I mean, it's everything that I like in wacky wrestling.
Speaking of which, did you see who's going to be on Raw next week?
Nah, I must have missed it.
Michael Kelso and Hyde from that 70s show.
Oh, that's right.
They're going to show Jericho and Kevin Owens what true friendship is about.
That'll be interesting.
And
I don't think I've met a bigger pair of friends than Jericho and Owens.
What is the guy, the actor that plays Hyde? I don't know his name. Basically, he's a shorter guy. He's like, I'm gonna grab Jericho by the legs, and Ashton's like, and then I'll hit him in the face. Well, I'll hit him high. You hit him low.
He's gonna have to find his way to Big Cass though, because Jericho's gonna be sitting on Cass's lap.
Yeah. So that's the thing that happened.
That was great. Coming out of the highlight reel, we had some Seth Rollins shenanigans, but security was surprisingly ready for Seth Rollins, and they put us out to it real quick.
Pulled him out. He was not medically cleared, so he was not allowed to get in the ring with him. Kind of like that. You saw a fire in Seth that you didn't get to see for most of his reign.
I'm telling you, we're going to see a face Seth here soon.
Oh, I believe it.
We're going to see a face,
especially after last night, because most of Seth's reign in the last kind of year and a half, almost 2 years since they broke up the Shield.
Yeah, just about.
He's been that guy like, I'm the guy, but I'm gonna avoid anything.
He had Eminem security.
He had Eminem security. He had
the
Triple H. He had
Triple
Kane.
H,
And he would run out of matches and like
this will be interesting. I'm really curious as to where they go with Seth Rollins, and it'll be fun. But see, you might be ready for Seth Rollins. You might be ready for the Architect, but you never know when the realest guys in the room are going to show up. And Big Cass and Enzo, they showed up, and they put in work with their mouth. That sounds so wrong. They verbally brought the heat to Owens and Jericho, which I love.
Wait. Did you say they would spit in hot fire?
They rap so hot, they spit yoga fire. Oh, wow. So, yeah.
No, they were good.
They were, on point. And that leads us to
one point, Jericho said he was going to sit in Big Cass's lap, and that went on for about 5 minutes of Jericho yelling, I didn't say that.
No, I said punch you in the face. Nah, you said sit on my lap. No. It was great back and forth.
Yeah, it was good.
I love their comedic timing, and the four of them work together really well.
We've saw this back before as well. So the four of them have great chemistry together. Well.
And that leads us to our main event of the night, which was Enzo and Cass going up against Jericho and Owens in a tag team match.
Yep.
Predictably won by Owens. It makes sense to have your champion win a match. I love that they're doing that.
You know who I haven't seen pinned since they got pulled up to the main roster, though?
Big Cass.
Yeah, hasn't taken a pin yet, I don't think.
How did?
Yeah, he got eliminated.
He got eliminated during the. But even that was in a number one contender match.
Fatal 4-way elimination.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Big Cass is yet to eat a pin. That's a good point. I didn't really pick up on that. But Enzo eats the pin. It makes sense again.
Yeah.
It was a good match. Standard stuff. Nothing too incredibly groundbreaking or whatever. But it was a fun back and forth. And did you catch Jericho there at the end?
No.
We're the Universal Champion.
Oh, yeah. We're the Universal Champion.
So, I don't know. Jericho and Owens, that'll be a fun feud. That's the feud, and we talked about it last week when we were giving our predictions for Clash of Champions, where we talked about Jericho putting over the younger talent. That'll be the match that Jericho puts over Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
He didn't put over Sami Zayn, but I could see him putting over Kevin Owens.
Also in that match, did you see... While Jericho was going to town on Enzo, KO on the sideline with his gif again, in the ring doing the running man that Enzo does.
Yep.
On the ring.
Dude, Kevin Owens is he's the complete package of an entertainer.
He's great.
He's awesome.
Great.
Y'all make fun of me for saying Kevin Owens is bae, but dude,
no, he can
guy's
be,
awesome.
he can be your bae. I'm still gonna chill in the corner with Bae Lee, but you can have Kevin
facts
Owens.
is facts. That man is right now arguably the biggest star in WWE today.
Biggest star in their prime.
Okay, in their prime. All
I
right.
would still argue
Cena. Okay.
Probably Jericho. Like,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And I mean that wraps up Raw for us this week.
yeah, that was Raw. It was a good Raw.
It's been the best Raw in the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
I would argue it might have been a slightly better than the pay-per-view in my opinion. I just feel like it was it was better. Which brings us to SmackDown.
No, see,
Am I skipping around?
see, you're skipping a little bit because someone's not here.
See, I didn't want to disrespect them, but if you want to do it,
We gotta do it.
we got to do it.
Who's gonna bring?
Who?
Who's gonna bring the news to the people?
So
if it's not the realest guys,
So what you're saying is
we're gonna have
Josh's News Corner?
Josh's News Corner. And for Josh's News Corner, we got a few things we're going to talk about. First, I think we'll hit up the fact that Kevin Owens did Sports Center. And this was one of the things that I thought was really interesting. And he confirmed not that there's going to be a match, but that he wants Brock at WrestleMania.
And I could tell you one thing, I had a Brocken heart on when I heard that.
Well, PG show.
That's why I said Brocken.
Okay. What's that other thing mean?
It means that my blood pressure rose, and I was really excited for the future.
Okay.
Dude, Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania, that's a money match.
It is a money match. The issue is, I don't want to see Brock as champ again. And I don't see him losing at WrestleMania to Kevin Owens.
Now, this is going to be the constant cloud that hangs over Brock Lesnar until he does inevitably lose to somebody clean.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the person to get that rub? Whoever beats Brock clean, be it at WrestleMania, be it at a Raw. It's never going to be at a Raw. Be it at a house show. It will never be at a house show. Whoever beats Brock Lesnar clean gets to be the guy that beat the streak. Gets to be the guy that beat the monster. That is a huge amount of responsibility.
You know who's going to be, right?
It's going to be Roman.
It's not.
It's going to be Roman.
It's not.
It's going to be
It's
Roman.
not.
Who's it going to be?
It's going to be the guy that beat John Cena clean.
You think AJ Styles?
I mean, it just makes... He beats John clean, and then he goes and beats Brock clean. Like, two things that haven't been done in 12 years, 13 years, forever.
I don't think it's going to be AJ Styles. I still have this feeling that it's going to be Roman.
I could see Roman.
But if it's Kevin Owens, you guys are going to hate me for the rest of your lives because I will never let y'all live it down. I don't care if Kevin Owens got released
That's
the following
already
Monday.
a possibility.
I hate you. if Kevin Owens gets released the next day, he still was the guy that beat Brock Lesnar.
No, yeah.
He's going to be over. Whoever beats Brock Lesnar will be over for the rest of their life.
But here's the thing. I don't think they do that until Brock's career is winding down.
True.
And granted, he's part-timer.
Mm-hmm.
He's, not really there often. It could be something good to put over
and
someone
that's why
like
he's
Kevin
not
Owens.
going to lose. Because he's a part-timer. Because the minute he loses once, that's it. The mystique is gone.
Yeah. No.
He lost to Undertaker, but the way he lost kept the mystique.
Yeah. The groin shot, the tap out from the Undertaker, and then...
Even when he first came back and lost to John Cena, at Extreme Rules, he bloodied Cena up.
Yeah.
Cena was worse for the wear.
Oh, yeah.
And he still kept his mystique.
Yeah. No.
So it'll be interesting, but that's a big time money match.
WrestleMania
35 is going to be awesome.
I can't wait. I'm hoping we get Goldberg versus anybody. The match will only last a minute and a half because that's about as long as Goldberg was ever able to do in WCW.
That's so messed up.
But I'm hoping. My question is 2K17.
Okay.
Goldberg's the pre-order special.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have like a time limit on his stamina? Like,
he's got 33 out of 100 stamina.
Okay. At least they're realistic with their stamina.
Then you put him in a match with Bret Hart, and Bret Hart just disappears from your game for the rest of the life.
What?
Yeah, that's the new glitch, man.
Man.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, getting back on track. Back to some news here. It's being reported that Jericho's now being advertised for some shows coming up in December.
Yeah.
There was rumors that he was going to be leaving soon.
In November.
Was it November?
They said that they thought about November would be because he was supposed to go do stuff with Fozzy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But he's currently being advertised for the December 26th. That's the day after Christmas.
Yep.
And what better gift to get somebody than the gift of Jericho? Drink it in, man. Yeah.
Man, that is it.
That's what you. That's it right there.
That's
it. So December 26th, Raw after Christmas Day in Chicago. Jericho's currently being advertised for. It would make sense why he beat Sami Zayn, and like I said, if they decide to build towards a feud between Owens and Jericho, it makes sense for him to win that match against Zayn, for him to continue this. We're the Universal Champion, and build that story.
Yeah,
because that, like I said earlier, that's a match I definitely want to see. That'll be a fun match. What are your thoughts on that?
I think WWE is kind of the last year and a half. I feel like they've had injury plague.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people going. Finn just went down. Even minor injuries, major injuries, whether they're out for a month or so, it makes sense to keep somebody who can show up,
mm-hmm.
and be that star caliber guy, even if he only shows up for 5-minute segment and not actually have a match.
Yeah,
but he can be that star caliber that brings some legitimacy. So it makes sense to keep him around. Also, I'm hoping that there were some rumors that with Finn having the belt that he was going to feud with KO,
mm-hmm.
and that was going to be the feud going into like WrestleMania and stuff. I'm hoping that Jericho and Kevin with the whole weird, I'm hoping there's a feud there potentially leading into like WrestleMania,
mm-hmm.
And hopefully that's why because they're giving him, maybe they're giving him a higher spot in WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then you give Jericho one more big time limelight run. He had that run with CM Punk, that culminated in their match, Best in the World, What I Do versus Best in the World. So and it'll be interesting. Jericho always, like I said, I wasn't really feeling him prior to him kind of switching up with his Owens stuff, but he does find a way to reinvent himself on a regular basis. So it'll be interesting to see how that builds. Speaking of reinventions, TJ Perkins, a few weeks ago was participating in the Cruiserweight Classic. He was, basically homeless. He was destitute for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And now to see him in WWE on TV as the champion, that's a feel good story. That's a great story that shows true human emotion. That's how you connect and you build with your audience. Apparently, there's some people on the indie scenes, and it's being reported by Wrestling Observer.
I've even heard the stuff that's being reported is on the indie scenes, but I've heard of wrestlers in WWE and past WWE wrestlers being upset about it.
And what it is TJ Perkins on Monday night cut a promo saying, hey, I used to be homeless and I'm here now and I'm on the top. I feel like I've really, really gone up. Like I said, building your connection with your audience. It was glorious.
And so the issue for people in these reports is that many people chasing the dream of being a wrestler, mm-hmm. many people in the indies, many people who have made it to the WWE, at some point in time go through a period of being homeless.
Even people who have been to the WWE and
then left, yeah. So many wrestlers. That's the story of a lot of people, and they're saying,
mm-hmm.
like, he's using it to get the sympathy, but it's everybody's story.
Yeah. Which is a valid point.
Yeah. My thing,
mm-hmm.
we talked about it earlier, a little bit before the podcast. My thing is, there are very few people in the WWE who are given free rights to say whatever they want.
Legitimately, we can count them on one hand.
Yeah. Nobody is given the right to say what they want. So if that promo was cut, either he was getting fed the lines by WWE themselves, like, Vince, Triple H, whatever, or they had already approved the lines.
Yes. There's nothing that goes through on TV that we hear that hasn't been pre-approved. There was a big thing when
outside of like Cena,
Cena, and even those they Cena being the company man, he gives them the ideas. He gives them an idea of what's going to be said. Like even when CM Punk cut his infamous pipe bomb promo, which by the way brought me back into the WWE. Seriously, that I credit that for me reigniting my love for the company. But even that pipe bomb promo, there was so much talk about, man, that was a straight shoot. No, that's a work shoot. If it was produced, if it was live on TV, that was them giving their blessing on what he said. And that line, let me tell you a true story about Vince McMahon. I guarantee you that line was just that line that he said, say, hey, this is where you're going to cut the audio. When I say this, that'll be the end of the promo. You know, nothing that WWE produces gets approved. Gets put out there without prior approval or prior knowledge of the higher-ups. So for all these people complaining backstage, I mean, you can't fault T.J. Perkins. He's brand new into the WWE. He's trying to make a name for himself, and he's going out there and he's spitting the promo that was given to him.
And he is the underdog. Throughout all of CWC, he was kind of cast that way. Mm-hmm. Now he's cast that way. He's the young upstart who got lucky and got the championship against Brian Kendrick, the guy who made a name for himself in WWE before, the veteran.
Yep.
Like, TJ's the underdog. Yep. And that moment of, I was homeless. I didn't have a place to go. Like, that even shines more into him being the underdog.
Yep.
So it builds that character. I mean, I kind of see where they're coming from with that's all of our stories. Don't use it for sympathy, but at the same time,
it's not his own decision.
He's not saying anything that the WWE doesn't want him to say.
Yeah. Not to get too WWE heavy here. I do have a piece of TNA news.
So could say it's WWE news too.
Could say. You know, some people at TNA might be going homeless here soon.
Yeah.
TNA reportedly might not be able to produce Bound for Glory come Sunday.
Yeah,
they are in dire straits financially right now. There's talks of needing an immediate buyout in order to produce the show, and I mean we've been hearing these stories for 14 years.
Yeah,
you know,
and one of the names at the top of the list potentially to buy TNA is WWE.
Now here's the thing. There's some names out there. WWE's one of them. Yeah. WWE's only focused on buying TNA for the library. They want nothing to do with the promotion. They just want the library.
No.
There's other names out there, and you know I suck right now because I don't have the name in front of me. But over on Reddit, there was a mega thread there, and they were talking about I can't remember his name. But buying the show and buying TNA and the product and potentially still running it as TNA, running it as a fan, whereas the WWE would buy just their assets.
Yeah, and I think that's happened to TNA 3 or 4 times now. Actually,
well, isn't that how Dixie Carter came into power when Panda Energy bought them out or something like that?
Yep.
So, but again, I mean, it sucks, especially because I feel like TNA here recently has been stepping up their game. I know we don't talk about it as much. But
I've definitely been pulling YouTube videos up more recently.
I've been, and even last week, you know, I had it streaming here in the background while watching the Thursday night game. You know, it's one of those things where it sucks, and we need more competition in wrestling.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, we've been hearing this for 14 years. It doesn't really come as a surprise.
Yeah.
And to end on a high note, on a good note, we're gonna get 2 of Japan's probably most famous current wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have in Dusty's Classic, in the Dusty Memorial Classic over on NXT, we're going to have Ibushi teaming up with Hideo Itami. That's going to be so much fun. So much fun.
I can't wait.
Like, can you imagine their match with the Revival?
Can you just imagine so both of them individually are phenomenal, if I can say that word twice in one episode.
It's never stopped you before.
They're great wrestlers individually. Can you imagine some of the things that they would be able to do as a tandem?
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
So yeah,
it'll be interesting to see now if this leads to anything more long term for Ibushi, because the talks was he was just going to come in for the Classic and then head back to Japan.
Yeah,
you know, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But dude, the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Tag Team Classic is going to be awesome this year again. And I'm excited that WWE's doing it the second year in a row. You know?
Me too.
So we'll see. And I think that's a wrap on Josh's News Corner. So there you go, Josh. I hope we did well for you.
So that leads us to SmackDown.
Smack it down on your handy eyes.
SmackDown was good. You had, once again, you kind of continue this feud that hasn't actually happened.
It's the feud that hasn't started.
Yeah.
But it goes on and on, my friends.
So Randy Orton comes out to the ring and calls out Bray Wyatt.
Dude, I really want his vest.
The vest jacket with the hood that says only takes one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great product. I
Sounds so
want
dirty. I just thought about that. It only takes one.
Yeah, I want it too. But he calls out Bray. You get the normal Bray promo, but not out in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing really changes there from the last week to this week. You just get the call out. But then we go into a 8-man tag.
Yay, multi-man tag matches.
Yay. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know
good.
if that was a sarcastic
It was a sarcastic gate, but it was a good match.
It was a great match, I thought. You have the Ascension and the Usos, the newly heel Usos, who
are gangster as hell now. Apparently,
gets better and better every week. I don't know which one it was, Jimmy or Jay, that had the bandana on coming out to the ring instead of the hat. One of them had a hat, one of them had a bandana. But I kept looking at him going, is that X-Pac reincarnated?
Wow. Wow.
Like, because of the long, it just
I'm loving their new gear. And they debuted a new Titantron, a new theme song. Which is dope. I was really feeling
cool.
it.
And then they went against the tag team champs, Beauty and the Man Beast.
Great name.
And the American Alphas.
Heath Slater's cute enough not to be a man beast, though.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around, but it makes sense now.
Do you seriously look at Rhino and not think beauty? I mean, come on now.
I mean, those crackers are beautiful.
That's racist.
Only because they got cheese on them.
You're super racist.
Wow.
We'll talk about that here in a
Crackers
second.
and cheese?
Yeah, you're super racist. Go ahead.
Wow, okay. But, yeah, so the Usos pull off the win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one it was, pinning Heath Slater, but they do the leg kick again. They win dirty. They look good. Going into the pay-per-view. They win dirty
and they look good. That's exactly what WWE wants to hear.
Going into the pay-per-view, they've got a lot of momentum. I think it was JBL even said, like, they're not ready to give up the mantra of the premier tag team in the WWE yet.
And they are the number one contenders.
Yeah, so
I still think it's building, and ultimately that end of that story is going to be them dropping the titles to American Alpha.
The Usos?
Yeah, the Usos.
The Usos take it from
Beauty and Man Beast and then drop it to American Alpha.
I think that eventually is where it goes as well. Hopefully they get a little bit of a run and it's not a quick swap. Mm-hmm. But you go from there, backstage, Orton, Bray, kind of who's the predator, who's the prey. Randy's walking around dark locker rooms, it looks like, and blacked out maintenance closets
with his oiled up standing,
with his wooden cardboard cutout that looks like it's been oiled up, and eyes are cut out. I really was expecting like somebody to come up and fill
after he walked away,
like as he turned around. The eyes had been cut out of the cardboard, and I was expecting like Bray Wyatt to like stick his eyes in there. Didn't happen. It would have been cool, but it didn't happen. What did happen though was you had Eric Rowan behind every corner that he went multiple times. Randy would open a door, and Eric was standing on the backside where Randy couldn't see him, and Eventually, Randy closed that door and it was locked. And you saw? Did you not see that the handle like shaking, like Eric Rowan was trying to get out, and it was locked. It was kind of.
Eric Rowan is a creepy dude.
I like the new mask. Did you notice that he had a new mask on?
No, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
He wasn't wearing a sheep mask. He was wearing a ram mask. It actually had like horns.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back. Like, I didn't catch that.
At least in that dark closet, it looked like that.
Did he look like the Warlock?
He looked like the Ram Warlock from Destiny. You are correct, sir. There's your Destiny plug for this episode, Josh. But yeah, so we don't get much there. It's just this kind of mind game. Who's really the predator? Who's really the prey between the two of them? Going to a women's.
You got it right.
I didn't say divas that time.
Nice.
I said women's.
Good stuff.
Tag match. You got the same old. Natalya and Carmella versus Naomi and Nikki.
They
did a little bit of promos before, wasn't super impressed by the promos that they did before. They were kind of cookie cutter.
Here's the problem with the rest of that division. Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch are head and shoulders. Killing them on that mic, in that ring. Hell, even on commentary.
Yeah.
And these girls just can't keep up right now.
Yeah. So, get the match. Carmella and Natalya win.
Carmella doing the heel thing.
Doing the heel thing. Natalya, obviously, doing the heel thing still. Mm-hmm. Go into Orton's hunt again.
That's when he found the cardboard cutout.
Still the same thing. Well, we talked about that hunt earlier then.
Yeah.
Same thing. He's walking around dark places looking for...
It's interesting seeing where in the world is Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Exactly. Finding Wyatt.
Honestly, my favorite segment comes up after that, though.
Yes.
This was my favorite segment.
Hands down, favorite segment of the night, probably. You have Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. The Miz first kind of doing his celebration. I'm in Cleveland. This is my home. I'm the man. Nobody really buying it.
Which makes sense because, LeBron James owns Cleveland.
And then he calls out Ziggler, who is also
from Cleveland,
from Ohio. Calls out Ziggler and realizes his parents are in the front row and is calling out Ziggler's parents even. Mm-hmm. And Ziggler comes out and gives one of the best on-mic moments I've seen Ziggler give in a while. Mm-hmm. There was true raw emotion as he was talking, and he went on to say basically, "Hey Miz, you put your title up one more time, and I'll put it against my career. Mm-hmm. I will be done." And Miz clarified, you're not going to Raw afterwards. You're not going to NXT afterwards. You are out of the WWE. Mm-hmm. There is no 30-day sabbatical and you're back. Mm-hmm. You're out, gone for good. Mm-hmm. Which, obviously, I think it's finally time for The Miz to drop his title.
If he doesn't, it still makes sense. Dolph, here's the thing about Dolph. I love Dolph. Dolph, one of my favorite superstars.
It's also one of Josh's. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. I was there when he won the title at the Izod Center after WrestleMania when he cashed in the Money in the Bank. The emotion that he poured out of himself, the reaction that he got from the fans, the fact that he is quote unquote a smarky wrestler in the sense that the internet fan, the IWC, love them some Dolph Ziggler. Mm-hmm. When he gets on the mic and spits promos like that, he's great. But the problem is he gets pigeonholed. He doesn't go his hardest when I feel like he doesn't go his hardest when we kind of know what the outcome's going to be, and this adds a level of intrigue to it. But I still think the Miz is going to retain, and we'll get to that in a few weeks. But it makes sense story wise for him to maybe take a step back. He's got other ambitions. He's a pretty funny dude, comedy wise.
Wants to do stand up.
He wants to do some stand up. He's an ambitious individual.
You think he's ready to leave?
I think he might be ready to step out. Maybe come back in 6 months. Do the Cody Rhodes thing.
Maybe
I would love it. I would love it. It'd be awesome.
We're talking what, a Royal Rumble return?
Let's see here. We're in September. Maybe Royal Rumble. Maybe come back the Monday after WrestleMania.
Hey,
when you have all these people who travel from all over the world,
yeah,
and he made his biggest moment the Monday after WrestleMania. Could you imagine him coming back in Orlando?
I could see it. I just think it's time. The Miz as champion doesn't intrigue me at all.
So basically, the Miz as champion is what the New Day as champion is for me.
Yeah, but you actually like New Day, so you're tired of it because it's been happening for 400 days.
Yeah, since 2009.
That joke is never gonna get old. Brian Kendrick needs to learn math. But yeah, so it's been happening for almost a year and a half. Mm-hmm. The Miz has been 4 months, and I'm tired of it just because I like The Miz as a wrestler. But I like him as that guy who's gonna get beat down. He's that guy that I love watching take punishment. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't been that guy. He's been this, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. I'm going to defend it once every 30 days because that's what I'm contracted to do. and I'm not going to do anything else ever.
So what you're saying is he's a great heel.
He's a great heel. I'm just ready for him to drop the championship and see where the story can progress. That's the issue. Is I don't see much progression in the story with the Intercontinental belt. Go from that, more backstage. Orton, Wyatt. We don't need to hit on that.
Well, this is the ultimate one where, Randy takes off his mask.
Yeah,
and it's surprise, Bray Wyatt. You didn't know it was Randy Orton really behind you. Yeah. If there was a camera right there.
Right there. Yeah. So you get a little bit of interaction with them. It's still kind of the same stuff that we've seen. Nothing major. But it does go into another one of the highlights of the night, I think.
Yeah.
AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose for the title.
Which I called John Cena on commentary.
I think everybody knew John Cena. That wasn't a hard call.
Don't matter.
John Cena's on commentary, obviously. Match is going on. Looks really good match. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose are both
a better match than they had last time.
Both great wrestlers. But at one point in time, action spills out of the ring. AJ throws Dean back in, turns around, and just lays one into John Cena. Drills him. Gets back up. As he gets into the ring, Dean pins him, but John Cena's jumping up on the apron, so the ref is distracted. Doesn't see the pin. John Cena, I think the way it looked to me at least, John Cena realized Dean was in the pin, jumped down. The ref turned around just in time to see the kick out. Dean then falls out of the ring, hits John Cena, gets back into the ring just to get rolled up the exact same way by AJ. And AJ actually gets the pin. The big thing is you then see John Cena and Dean Ambrose going face to face, and AJ's just kind of letting it happen, walks out. So as that's happening, Dean goes to hit the dirty deeds, but John Cena does what John Cena does best and just picks him up because he lifts like 9,000 pounds.
I mean, he did lift the Big Show and Edge at the same time.
He did. He's a
monster.
Beast.
He's
but as he's getting set up for the dirty deeds, he hits him with the attitude adjustment.
Yep.
And then at that point, as he's yelling, "You can't see me," at Dean, AJ sneaks back into the ring behind him, turns him around, starts setting him up for the Styles Clash, and again, just picks him up,
Cena doing
attitude adjustment, "You can't see me again," and he walks out the ring. And that's where Smackdown ends. It was a good show. I think we've had better in the last couple of weeks. I would still say I probably enjoyed it more than Raw this week.
See, we differ on that one because lately I've been all about SmackDown having the better show, but I think Raw did
Raw
better.
was a good show this week. I'm okay with people liking Raw better this week. I'm more invested into the characters of SmackDown now because they've done so good the last few weeks.
Well, the biggest thing is they still have one more week before their go home show. So this was going to be a little bit of advancement of storyline, but a lot of the same status quo.
And that's why, like, even on a down week when Raw is higher, like, I enjoyed SmackDown more because they've done so well at storyline throughout the last month and a half.
Yeah, SmackDown has been much better about building
that. Like, I'm invested, whereas Raw is just like, you're gonna fight you. Why? Because both of you need to have a match tonight.
Yep.
And you both need one, so fight.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. So now from there, we get to go to everybody's favorite segment.
It's the favorite segment of the show.
Yeah. So last week we talked about favorite factions.
Favorite faction. Now, do you have any?
I did not see any.
So I'm going to apologize to y'all. Josh is normally the one that does handle that.
I checked Twitter before we came up. I didn't see any today, but I did have some people. My parents.
Okay.
Said the Freebirds.
Okay. The Freebirds.
Well,
I mean,
my dad said the Freebirds. My mom said the Von Erichs. So
opposites attract like magnets, man. It's a Romeo and Juliet love story.
I think the reality is
with Kyle.
My dad liked the Freebirds because they beat the crap out of people. My mom liked the Von Erichs because she thought they were cute at the time.
No.
So I think that's really the story.
I mean, and those are two like historically.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You know, they were the pinnacle where factions were, especially in their time. Cool. So shout out to Kyle's parents. Thanks for that, guys.
Hey, gave us something.
Gave us a little something, yeah. And so Josh, he's not here.
He couldn't decide.
So
he had two.
He had two of his favorites, but he gave us the top three.
He gave us the top three. Okay,
right?
So
if you know Josh,
you know Josh.
You know how much he loves Dolph Ziggler.
He loves Dolph Ziggler. He has since day one.
Day one.
Day one
Dolph Ziggler? Day one Kerwin White? I mean, not Kerwin White. When he was the caddy for Kerwin White? Or day one Nick Nemeth?
I think it was that one.
Nicky! Yep.
Day one Spirit Squad made Josh's top three.
But
not necessarily top. It's just top three.
Top three. But not to be outdone, he surprised me with this one.
He surprised me.
He surprised me a little bit with this one. You know, Josh is a great guy.
He is a great stand-up
guy. Somebody who is very... He's the moral fiber of this country. We need more people like Josh in this country.
So many more.
Stand-up individual. Somebody who always thinks of everyone else.
Doesn't want anything getting out that shouldn't.
Which came as no surprise when he told me that the right to censor.
Right to censor?
He said Molly Holly as
a bald woman.
With the bald woman?
Wow.
He was pretty into that back in the day.
That kind of surprises me, but it doesn't, because Josh is that guy.
No, okay, in all seriousness, Josh alluded to The Shield as being probably his favorite one.
I don't think that surprises any of our listeners as much as Josh talks about Roman.
Yeah, as much of a Dolph Ziggler guy he is, he's a huge Roman Reigns fan too. But yeah, so The Shield, he specifically mentioned their interesting promos with the camera work, which I gotta admit that's an awesome reason.
It's a good reason. He also mentioned the fact that they naturally turned face, that kind of Stone Cold, like they didn't really change what they were doing.
It's just the crowd
people just drew to them.
So that was pretty cool. To piggyback off that, my favorite. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm Puerto Rican. I'm very proud of my Latino heritage.
Wait, you're Puerto Rican?
Yeah, surprising. You didn't know that? Rican? Yeah, freaking Rican? No?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so. And in lieu of that, or because of that, I gotta show love to my raza. Viva la raza, man. The Latino World Order.
Latino World Order! Yes!
And that's exactly why last week I said Kyle was being racist, because he knew last week that was going to be my answer.
I knew, because we've talked about these things.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with racism. It just had to do with you have a ridiculous faction that you love.
Earlier, you talked about crackers and white people, and now you're saying obviously the Puerto Rican likes the Latino World Order. Come on now.
Whoa. I talked about actual crackers with cheese on them.
Sure, yeah.
And then
in the context of white people. No,
you had already told me.
I understand.
But, nonetheless, there's only two factions that should have ever been named in this.
Go ahead.
First one, the WWE faction. DX.
Okay.
It's the only WWE faction anybody should have named.
Mm-hmm.
DX. Shawn Michaels. Triple H.
Go ahead.
New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, Kane at one point in time.
China.
Rick Rude. At one point in time, I think honorary members were like Hornswoggle and Eugene. Like, DX, guys. They drove a tank to WCW.
That was pretty dope.
And then the other faction that should have been named.
Ooh. That was a horrible
Red and Black, not the original.
Nah, the black and white was better, mainly because Scott Hall is the man.
Not the original, but Red and Black. That moment, the moment that sealed me as a WWE or a wrestling fan, I should say, for life, was the moment when Sting came out and they had been having the feud over who was Sting going to join. He comes out and he reveals the NWO original, the white and black shirt. Mm-hmm. And NWO white and black goes crazy. And the Wolfpack's kind of just chilling in their corner like, whatever. And then, as they're going crazy, Sting works his way to the back of the group and reaches up and, in true Hulkamania style, rips that shirt open to reveal the red and black underneath. and then just goes to town with a baseball bat, and the Wolfpack goes crazy. Like, that moment was the moment that I was like, sign me up, I'm a wrestling fan for life. Like, take my annual fees, whatever you have to do.
Here, shut up and take my money.
Yeah, exactly. That moment.
Well, annual fees, you should just get the WWE Network. It's
Oh,
only $9.99 a month.
I have it.
Ah, there you go.
$9.99 a month.
$9.99.
Hey, and guess what? If you look it up, I'm sure they have that moment on their WCW in the vault. So.
Exactly. And they might be having some TNA stuff in the vault here soon.
Man, that would be fun. That'd be able to go watch
a documentary with Samoa Joe,
Main
and
Event Mafia,
Aces and Eights,
getting the fortune when Ric Flair took Bobby Roode, Storm, Kazarian, and AJ under his wing.
Nature Boy AJ Styles.
Nature Boy AJ. Yeah.
So but that's our favorites for this week.
Yeah. We didn't
really talk about our favorites for next week, but if you don't mind, spit something here. So
spit it.
We talked. We joked a little bit about Dolph Ziggler a little earlier and how he used to be the caddy for Kerwin White, and he used to be a male cheerleader. So
favorite original? Is that what we're getting at?
Not quite. But who is your favorite wrestler who suffered through multiple personality disorder throughout his career?
So does like the Undertaker being the American Badass and the Undertaker count?
Yeah, that's two separate personas. So who's the wrestler that stands out to the most to you, or who's your favorite wrestler who had
Husky Harris?
Oh jeez, who had multiple personas during his career?
No, that's a great one. I like it.
So that'll be one to kind of work around there in the old noggin and see what you can come up with for next week.
Yeah. So hit us up on Twitter, drop us a comment on YouTube. You can find us on Stitcher.
We're on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. We're on YouTube, like you said. You can find us on Twitter. We got a Facebook page. We got a website. Wherever you can find us, you can find us. And if you can't find us, it's because you're not looking hard enough.
Yeah.
And if you still choose not to find us, there's only one word to describe you. And since Josh isn't here today, I'm going to have Kyle spell it out for you.
SAWFT. Soft.